All right, good afternoon. Thank you for coming to the news conference here this afternoon at 3 o'clock. This news conference is being held to announce the permanent appointment of a new EMS director. My name is Rusty Leeds. I'm an assistant county manager for Sedgwick County. So with that, we'll get started. It's my honor and my privilege to announce today that we have made a selection and we are announcing the appointment of Kevin Lanterman to be the permanent EMS director. As you're all aware, we started this search back about August. Kevin was appointed as the interim director around August 1st, and we began a search for a new permanent director. We sent out requests for applications. We advertised that nationally. We got a number of applicants. Some of them seemed well qualified and others not so much. We interviewed a group back in December, and ultimately we concluded that we needed to go back out a second time for an additional search. We did receive additional applications, and through that process we came down to some very good applicants, a very competitive process. At the end of the day, after evaluating all of the skill sets and the unique qualities of each applicant, we came to the conclusion that we had talent right here in our own backyard. Kevin is a 30-year veteran of Sedgwick County EMS. He started in Butler County. He came to Sedgwick County as a reserve and then worked through the ranks. He spent the last 16 years as a operations manager, as a shift commander, so he is well versed in the day-to-day operations of EMS in the field. He knows how the system works. He knows all of the people. He knows all of the system partners. During his role in the past year as an interim, close to a year, Kevin has done very well maintaining contact with personnel on the streets. He goes out, he makes calls, he rides, he fills shifts himself so that he stays in tune with what's going on a day-to-day basis. Additionally, he has fulfilled the administrative duties and roles. He's worked closely with the leadership team and the management team in EMS in order to keep things moving. They've continued to be innovative. They've continued to maintain accreditation standards. And so it was an easy decision at the end of the day, good competition, good people that came forward to apply. But we believe that Kevin is the guy who can step in. He can maintain continuity within this organization. He's a guy for today, and he's also the guy for the future that can help us move forward. So with that, I'm going to let Kevin come forward. He may have a few words to say, and then we will stand for questions if you have any. So with that, Kevin, would you like to step forward? Congratulations on your appointment. Thanks for your competition in this process, and welcome aboard.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, first of all, I would like to just say thank you for you all to be here for this conference. I'd also like to say that I'm very grateful and humbled to be able to lead this organization. Growing up in this service, I started as a reserve, and now being selected as the director, I've had great role models and leaders throughout this whole journey, and I've looked up to a lot of those and learned a lot from them, and I thank each and every one of those individuals that has played that role in my life. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't first of all thank my wife, Jennifer, for her support, and I think I just told her recently that I would not be here without her, and that's absolutely the truth. I'd also like to acknowledge my children, two of them who are here with us today, and my other three that could not make it. I'd also like to acknowledge my two grandsons. Working in EMS, emergencies don't stop. There's a lot of holidays, birthdays that you're not there for, and so I'd like to acknowledge the sacrifices that they've all made in their lives. I'd also like to thank my father, who also can be here, and my mother and father-in-law for their support. I have two older brothers who have significant backgrounds in EMS, and they've always been there to support me, as has my sister, who has kind of supported all three of us. There's so many other numerous extended family, great friends, coworkers that are here, and those that couldn't be here, members of the Sedgwick County staff and commissioners that have shown the support. I also want to thank them also. But as I like to say, this isn't about me. This is about the hardworking men and women that are out there working in very difficult environments on a daily basis that deliver the best clinical care, and they do it with a lot of compassion and empathy, and that's what this is, and that's what this job is about. I've always been about placing the service and the staff first, and that will continue. That's not going to change. My feeling is if the providers out there are well taken care of, then they will provide the best care to those individuals that need it at the time they call for EMS. So with that, yes, there will be opportunities and challenges ahead, but we will conquer all those together. So, like I said, I appreciate you being here, and like I said, we'll answer any questions you may have. Yes?
What would you say, since stepping into the interim position in August, that you've learned that will prepare you to permanently fill this position going forward?
I've first and foremost learned that this position, you don't do anything by yourself. We have great staff. We have great management support, like I said, in the county, that you don't do it alone. And I've learned that you just got to take one step at a time, try to get small victories and move forward, and that's what we're planning on doing, is continue to move forward from here on out.
I know staffing was and has been a pretty big concern in EMS here for the last year and a half, 2 years. Where are you at now? How many open positions do you have left to be filled, and how are you going to get those filled?
Yes, as staffing is still an issue, not only for our organization, but other EMS organizations, across the United States. We still have 14 full-time filled paramedic positions open right now. I don't know if you remember, we started the EMT to paramedic program. It was approved by the commission, and we currently have 9 students in that program, and we have at least 6 or 7 that hopefully will be starting a program in August. Through that program, also with the continued going outreach into these programs, trying to recruit from programs that students that aren't committed to other EMS services. We'll continue hitting that recruitment hard and trying to get people into our organization.
What do you view as the biggest challenge for you going forward?
I think that is the biggest challenge is the recruitment and retention of people. That will help our field providers the most if we can get fully staffed, make their work life better, and that's the goal, is make their work life better.
How important was the continuity aspect of your job as interim, regardless of whether you were going to be appointed ultimately or not? How important was that you kept that going?
I think it's very important. I think over the last 10 and a half months, we've accomplished some really good goals, and so continuing working on those moving forward, I think, is very important.
What's your vision for the future of ICT-1? I know there's been a lot of discussion, city and county, as far as expanding hours on that, additional staffing, trying to make it a 24/7 potentially mental health operation. What do you see EMS's role in that?
There's a lot of programs that I think would benefit the county, and I hope we get to a point where we can expand on those, but our main goal right now is improving our core function of running emergency calls and getting the staff, get the staffing tables full to where we can do that adequately. So,
Now, in terms of that staffing, since you took over in that interim role, have you received any more feedback from your staff in terms of pain points, areas that you all can improve in, and how do you plan on doing that going forward in the future?
there's a lot of things that we can do. I know the county in general is doing great work right now, looking at compensation for our staff. That will help immensely in the retention and recruitment of quality paramedics. I would like to focus on leadership throughout the organization, bring back some leadership education and training throughout the organization, because at the end of the day, my goal is to have my future replacement ready to step in when that time is right. So we need to focus on that leadership throughout the organization.
Is there anything that you're looking to change or maybe thinking about changing?
Like I said, not immediately. We've already been assessing the needs of the organization, ways to increase staff at the field provider level. So just continuing those programs and continuing looking for other ways to improve, that will be the initial goals.
I want to talk to you in December, shortly after you've taken over. I'd asked you if you were interested in the full-time position, and you said you didn't apply the first round. I guess what changed between the first round of applications and the second time it opened up to where you decided you would like the job?
Time and discussions with my family and wife, and being in that position and hopefully being in a position to help this organization.
So you mean you'll have more?
No, just the time from the first process to the second process. I had time to, think about where I wanted to be and where I wanted to go, and so that was the time in between there.
This question might be more directed towards the assistant county manager. Just kind of touching on how much feedback or input that you all considered from the employees when it came to this process, and how that ultimately helped to determine the outcome that we have today.
Sure. Thank you for the question. So we started out this process, and we indicated that we wanted input from the staff. The way that we chose to do that was we had initial interviews with applicants. We did resume reviews. We whittled down from a large number to a reasonable number of qualified applicants. We conducted interviews, and then for second round, we brought those people. We had people from out of town in both rounds. We brought everybody into town and conducted a second round of interviews, which included a town hall for EMS employees. We did that over the course of one evening. We did 2 sessions each evening so that employees who were working day shift would be able to come when they got off, and employees who were going to work the evening shift could come before they went to work. So while it's not everybody's going to be able to make that schedule, but it opened up the opportunities for as many as were wanting to come and could come to show up and see the candidates in person, hear the answers that they gave to questions, and then have a short period of time to meet them face to face and have their own conversations. We did that both rounds, and in both rounds we asked that employees then provide feedback to us. The first round I asked them to send me emails with their input. The second round we actually did a survey that was managed through HR so that they could answer that survey, and then HR provided me with the outcome of those surveys. So I took into account the recommendations or the feedback from staff in addition to the feedback from the panelists from the interviews that we did. And again, at the end of the day, we had good competition. We had some good applicants that had different skill sets and different experiences. But at the end of the day, looking at the totality, understanding that Kevin has the skill set, the knowledge of the organization, the knowledge of the people, and the operational experience to understand and manage the day-to-day operations of what medics do on the street. He was the fit. I mean, ultimately, that's what you're looking for, is who's going to fit the position, who's going to help the organization, and is hopefully going to meet the needs of the majority of the employees, because while the support staff, EMS support staff, and county support staff are important, without the field staff, there is no mission to support. And that's where I see Kevin's role is, he has the administrative, the management skill set. He can learn things that he hasn't been exposed to as much, which is what he's done over the past several months. But then he's intimate at that street level where the mission is carried out and the people are served. So that's kind of how that went. And I did listen to and consider the feedback that I got from the employees who took the time to provide that feedback.
If we don't have any more questions, thank you all for coming. We appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you all very much.